Okay. They're probably not gonna make them witches, right? It wouldn't really make sense for most of these. But, like, how much does it actually make sense for Razor? Then again, right? Like, because Varka trains him? I mean, it already barely makes sense for Varka. He's friends with the witches. Everyone in Mondstadt is friends with the witches in one way or another, okay? Like, not Diluc. Diluc is friends with Varka. Varka's friends with the witches. Diluc isn't friends with anyone. I mean, Varka was, like, tight with Diluc's dad. Phrasing? You guys are just... whatever, man. Nobody in Mondstadt is friends with Diluc. They just keep him around for free wine. Damn. I mean, I would also not want to be friends with someone who looks like that, so that's fair enough. So Jeff hates ugly people, confirmed. Diluc? Have you seen how he dresses? It's not an ugly thing, okay? It's just Diluc is handsome, sincerely a straight woman. He doesn't even have a face. It's just eyes. What do you mean Diluc is handsome? Yeah, and it's cute. The bar is in hell, I guess. I think they're probably gonna be witches, because, like, none of these characters work with Noelle, right? So are you telling me that they're gonna make a new faction with, like, characters that need to be played with one another and only include characters that don't work with each other? Like, that doesn't really make sense. So either they're witches or it's individual buffs that have nothing to do with a fucking faction resonance type thing. Well, yeah, which would be better. Which I would like that. That would be nice. Yeah, we can talk about each of these characters and, like, the sort of things they could see in buffs. So first is Eula, and like, she's the only, like, real carry here, right? I mean, Noelle too, I guess, in a way. So okay, I guess she's not the only carry, but, like, so like, when it comes to carries, it's kind of difficult to predict what they're gonna do to buff them, because, like, they could either just make their numbers bigger or add, like, new sorts of passives that change the basic play pattern. Personally, I've talked many times before about the sort of buff I would like to see for Eula. I think it's a real shame that she has a burst that is, like, it says that you need to hit more and all that, and then you get to learning her gameplay optimization, and it's just spam normal attacks and then dash once or twice. So, like, either give her something that's more dynamic between casting burst and burst dealing damage, or change her attack string in a way where combo optimization actually matters. Or maybe give some sort of passive that reduces E cooldown somehow, and like, change the animations to make it so that those new combos are a mix of using the normal attack and this skill. I also just think it would be nice if she worked better with attack speed. What the fuck is dev bonus? I mean, that's fine. Like, she's tankier when she's on field. That's what this means. Like, I don't mind that. That's fine. Or just buff superconduct as a whole. I mean, that's probably happening from Sandrone, but, like, it doesn't really change what I think is a pretty big design issue with Eula, which is that her burst is all about setting up a window of, like the fantasy with this character is supposed to be, like, you set up the window where you burst and then she dances on the enemies, and then that leads to a big explosion of damage, right? And I think it's really boring that her combo optimization during that, like, intended dance period is so straightforward and boring. I wish there was more dancing involved. It feels like, I mean, it's not necessarily, like, a miss on the design front, because she's a very old character, and, like, back then there were a lot less ambitious, I guess, with their character designs, with the kits. Oh yeah, I like that a lot, Silent Solace. I like that a lot. Yeah, Eula would be a great character to put a parry on, actually. I think it would fit what she's trying to do so well. It fits the sword dance vibe really well. I've talked about parries a while ago, but very often. But like, basically, I would like for there to be characters that have a parry that doesn't really have a cooldown and that only does something if it actively parries something. She needs to be able to get energy during bursts. Yeah, but that's I don't know if that's the sort of thing they would change on a buff like that. Maybe. Like there are also like just issues with her coding, right? Like the burst cooldown starts at the end of the animation, not at the start, so she can't pre-funnel particles, and her rotations are 22 plus seconds instead of 20 plus seconds, which is awful, really. But honestly, I don't think they're gonna do anything that interesting with her. They're probably just gonna give her energy refund on Holdy, and that's it. Which won't fix any of her problems, but people are gonna be like, oh my god, I can build her with 0 ER? Holy, she's broken now, surely. Like, I would expect that they're gonna fix the energy issues on the buffs, and that they're gonna release Sandrone in a state where like it'll make Eula have like 90k, 95k teams. That's my guess. I don't think they're gonna buff her too much because she's likely to see some second-hand buffs from Sandrone release if the Sandrone Superconduct support leaks are real. I mean, maybe not. Like maybe they will buff her a lot. Maybe they want Eula to actually come back into the meta, kind of like how Mona did, right? Maybe Eula is this buff batch's Mona. Like that's possible, but I don't really expect them to do that. All right. Next is Jean. I talked about Jean a little bit when I talked about character designs a while back. I didn't end up finishing the list, but I did do a few of the MONDSTADT characters, and Jean was one of the ones I did. Nowadays, Jean's main use is the fall damage stuff. And as much as it is cheese, I also do think that it's intended. It's like they probably didn't intend for everything that works, right? Like the weird shit with Zhongli Burst was clearly not intended. But just fall damage being a mechanic you can abuse to cheese stuff is clearly something they intended, right? Like that's supposed to be her what should I call it? Like the I guess the gameplay fantasy. I don't know if that describes the concept I'm trying to talk about well enough. No, not gimmick. Like the not design philosophy either. Like the thing that makes you all excited to play this character. I guess the fantasy is good enough, right? I guess fantasy is fine, yeah. I don't know. But yeah, I don't think they're gonna do anything with the fall damage stuff, really, because, like, it doesn't really need to be changed. I feel like they wouldn't want to make it easier because it being as difficult as it is the main reason why Jean isn't just a fucking S tier character that everyone should get. Right? So, if they buff Jean, I think it'll be in her alternate gameplay idea, which is just the animal healer stuff. She has on-field healing, right? Which is kind of weird, because it kind of sucks. But, like, even if it didn't suck, it wouldn't really matter, because you don't really care about this. Like, this mattered in 1.0 when your artifacts were +8, and it was literally impossible for you to get enough ER on all your characters. So being able to heal without using burst was nice, right? For the same reason why Chi-Chi felt really good to use to people in 1.0, right? Because she can heal without burst. They could try to lean into the C4 and give her Animo Infusion on burst. But I think there would still be a pretty big issue, which is that the burst duration is just too short. So I think they would need to increase burst duration as well. What I would like to see, if I were tasked with buffing Jean, is multiply the field entering / exiting damage by like 10. And give her a play pattern around taking enemies in and out of her field. To give her an alternative to enemies that you can't fall damage. Because I think one of the issues with the fall damage is that a lot of tanky enemies can't be fall damage, and squishy enemies you don't want to fall damage because fall damage is percent max HP. So they take like no damage. I would like for fall damage Jean to be able to kill smaller enemies too. Not through fall damage, but through using her movement mechanics to take enemies in and out of her burst to make them actually die to the field entering / exiting damage. Because I think this is a really cool mechanic. It's just that it does too little damage to play around it. Yeah, or they could just try to actually make her into a carry. Like, just give her Animo Infusion or reduce skill cooldown, I guess. But, like, I don't know. I think that would be less fun. Because your charge attack is pretty cool and it has a strong scaling. The thing with the charge attack is that when you charge attack enemies, very often, if they're small enemies, they'll end up too high up for your next charge attack to hit them. And it feels so awful. I don't really want her play pattern to rely on charge attack too much, unless it's fall damage stuff. My expectation for what they're going to do with her, though, is 40% damage bonus. That's it. They're going to make her Kazuha. Kaeya. Does Kaeya even need a buff? Did Fischl need a buff? Like, he needs a more than Fischl, I guess. But, like... So, when you look at the stuff in Kaeya's kit, right? He's got a bit of self-healing on E, but, like, it's really bad. Right? Like, 15% of his attack? Let us remember, okay? That Jean heals 50% of her attack to the whole party on every other attack. Kaeya is just when he uses skill to himself. Okay? It's not good. The healing is complete dog shit. It was never intended to heal a lot. Like, owning a calculator is enough for you to figure out that 15% of attack, one time per 6 seconds, is fucking nothing. It's very good at AR-10. Kinda. Like, the main purpose of this passive is when you're AR-10 and you have a fully leveled weapon but no artifacts, you actually have a lot more attack than you have HP. So this helps sustain you in the overworld. Personally, I think the biggest issue with Kaeya is the inconsistency of his burst. But I don't think they're going to change that. Because they'd have to just recode it from the ground up, and I feel like they don't give that much of a shit about it. Probably intended. I don't think it was necessarily intended. They were just lazy about coding it. Like, the icicles don't actually have an individual hitbox. It's just like a circle around him. And if the enemies are in the circle, they take damage. But if there's... they take damage in a specific AoE around them, and it puts the circle on cooldown. So if there's an enemy on the other side, it doesn't get hit by the icicles, even if the icicles go through them. It's just a mess, really. For Kaeya, I expect burst damage and duration buffs. I don't know if I expect burst duration buffs. Like, yeah, that would make him stronger. But, like, The only thing that makes Kaeya feel different from the other cryo supports right now is that his duration is shorter. We're saying the same stuff for Mona too. The thing with Mona is like they increase the duration, but they didn't just increase the duration. Like Mona still doesn't really want to be played with long uptime carries. It's still kind of short uptime carries that want her. It's just that instead of a 5-second window, it's like an 8-second window. Because now you can afford to swap to her before your other supports. So that's generally what you do. And and you need to spend time on her to get the extension. So it's not actually plus 8 seconds. It's like plus 3, plus 4 in practice of uptime compared to what it was before. But I don't know. I feel like if they're going to increase duration, I would like for them to increase duration when you press skill. Because there's a couple things that are really annoying about Kaeya, right? One, his burst animation is relatively long for a 4-star. It's not very long, but it's just a tiny little bit longer than a bunch of the others. And he consumes energy at the end of the animation. So on 0 ping, very often, if you skill burst, you end up catching the particles before you consume the energy. And then he breaks. But you can't QE because then the Q duration isn't long enough for what you want to do. I wish you could QE. Like, you want to dash away from particles, but a lot of his setups rely on the first icicle hitting the enemy, so if you do that, you're gonna fuck up your cryo app. And I feel like if they add burst extension on using skill, it also creates this cool dynamic where you might want to swap back to him to use skill. Which would be really cool for our Likino teams. Which are some of the teams that can use Kaeya pretty well right now. I guess it wouldn't matter that much for our Likino because Kaeya's duration is kind of already long enough. For our Likino. Meh, whatever. But then maybe you could do some cool stuff with Sack Sword Kaeya. And get, like, Omega extended duration with a Sack Sword. That would be cool. But yeah, so that's what I would like to see from Kaeya. I think. Give him either duration or some other bonus from using skill. What do I expect from Kaeya buffs? 40% attack when you trigger freeze. Next. Lisa. Man, Lisa is also a mess. Honestly, all the starting characters are just omega messy. Kaeya's like the least bad of them because his mess is just shitty coding. Anyways, I just want them to remove the cooldown on hold. Holdy shouldn't have a cooldown. There's no reason for it to have a cooldown. It's not even like she'd be good if she could spam it. But it would be cool. Because, like, Lisa has... Let me go to the dummy, actually. We can show a couple of Lisa things. I don't think they fixed that. Because I know they fixed some of the stuff with Lisa. Decided to call... Like the Lisa con that generates energy on hold E used to work on Tappy as well. So... Lisa... Where's Lisa? Lisa... let's just get cooldown reduction, actually. So we can show things. But yeah, so by default, right? When you press E on Lisa, put 1 stack on the enemy.
Come a little closer.
Every time you press E, you get 1 additional stack, and once you have 3, you can do your holy, right? And it consumes the stacks. But you can apply stacks with a charge attack.
Come a little closer.
And you can apply stacks. When the E triggers a reaction, it applies 2 stacks.
You're in for a little shock. Blitz.
Not when the charge attack triggers a reaction. That's the only one. Do you get stacks from burst? No. So it's just charge attacks and tap E triggering reactions, right? And the C6 when you swap in, that's true. But like, imagine if her play pattern was supposed to be E charge attack, hold E.
You're in for a little shock.
And then you can just E again. Or like charge attack, tap E, hold E. With an off-field pyro or something. And you could just repeat that over and over. With the hold E not having cooldown. That would be cool. It would be interesting. Yeah, you could do it on Aggravate, sure, yeah. I don't think it would be good on Aggravate. But you could, I guess. Durin, Bennett, Lisa, Venti. I think you'd rather do Chavars, but pretty much. You know, I actually don't know. Oh, I don't have Sack though, so I can't test. Well, I guess I can test, maybe. No, I can't. A little
closer.
Does the hold E share ICD with the tap E? Wait, does the tap E share ICD with charge attack, or is charge attack independent ICD?
You're in for a little
charge attack is independent, okay. But yeah, if you normal attack then N1, you'll only get 1 stack. Right? Because the E and the normal attack share ICD, and that makes it so the E doesn't trigger a reaction. But if you just E, you'll get 2 stacks because the E triggers a reaction. Like, there's so many... There's a lot of cool shit with Lisa's kit. It's just that none of it matters because you only do it once. And, like, once you have C6, you just do this. Oh, I have 3 stacks. Big. It's over. Like, once you have C6 Klugi. I mean, Lisa is one of the characters where you can guarantee get the C6 no matter what. It'll take a while, but you will guarantee it. After 5 years, I have C1 Lisa. That's just because you didn't want to get Lisa. How do you get Lisa? From the Star Litter shop. She's in the shop rotation. But yeah, I don't know. I really hope that they give some sort of... Either make it so that the conducive stacks do something other than just making the whole D do more damage. Maybe make the normal attack do more damage. Maybe make the burst do more damage against enemies with conducive stacks. Or just straight up remove the holy cooldown entirely. It doesn't need to have a cooldown. You already have an artificial cooldown by requiring setup to use. And like, on top of that, you already want to use the tap E as a way to make the hold E better. And you can't use the tap E until the hold E is off cooldown. It's so stupid. Like, if you do the very default play pattern on Lisa, right? I'm gonna do my first tap E at 5 seconds, okay? Let's see when my hold E cooldown is over. I have 5% cooldown reduction too, but that's not gonna matter too much, right? At 27 seconds. So it's a 22-second cooldown in practice. It's not plus 1 second, it's plus a lot. Oh, you mean the animal res? Okay, yeah, sure. Like, it's way too long. It's way too... It should not be this long. Shit, 127k DPS Lisa? Real. But yeah, that's what I want to see. I want to see some proper... proper functionality in her kit. Yeah, maybe make it so that the cooldown is reduced... The holy cooldown is reduced by 5 seconds for each conducive stack consumed. That's a great idea, yeah. So if you just use the holy for energy, you won't get the cooldown reduced. But otherwise, it'll be 1 second cooldown. Anyways, next is Amber. Yeah, Amber's just kind of she's probably the character. I don't know who's more of a mess between Amber and Lisa, actually. Okay, so like the biggest issue with Amber, numbers aside, is that enemies can knock Baron Bunny away. Enemies will attack Baron Bunny because it has taunt, and attacks knock back. And if Baron Bunny gets knocked back, Baron Bunny won't explode on the enemies. Baron Bunny should either be immune to knockback or not have inherited HP so it explodes on the first hit. Or stick to enemies. But like, make it at least function. Make the ability function. Please. Just please. Make it function. Other than that, there's like the weird inconsistency on amount of hits from the burst, but like, it is what it is. And like, what the fuck would you even do? Like, would they want to make her more of a carry or more of a support with a buff? Like, neither. She sucks anyways. Like, right now, her only real use case is pyro hits against enemies like the Lava Dragon statue, right? I spent thousands on this game and I still only have Lisa C1. Yeah, because spending money on limited banner doesn't progress on Lisa cons. You can only get Lisa cons on standard banner or on the shop. Or I guess on MONDSTADT Chronicled Wish, but that's not real. So, who cares? Like, unless you spend primos on standard wishes, you haven't done more standard wishers than a free-to-play player. Do you get standard wishes from the battle pass? Actually, maybe you do. I don't fucking know, man. Yeah, you get them for free, even without the paid battle pass. So yeah, no. You literally have not done one more, unless you've bought them intentionally, which you shouldn't have done. You haven't done one more standard wish than a free-to-play player. And Lisa is not on the limited banner. So like, yeah, it has nothing to do with the amount you spent. Yeah, I guess you do have the extra pulls from owning more characters and ascending more characters for their standard wishes. Sure. Sure, I guess. I suppose. That's true. 1.3 player, I don't think I've bought a single character in Paimon Shop, only limited wishes. I've bought Kaeya C6, Lisa C6, and Amber C6 from the shop. Because I knew I'd want them eventually. Do you regret it? No. Why would I regret it? But yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't really give a fuck what they do with Amber. Just please make Baron Bunny a functional ability. Next is Noelle. Can I get a Noelle in the chat? I mean, Noelle doesn't really have any issues, right? Like, her only real issue is fixed by a bug. Right? Like, her only real issue is energy, and that's fixed by a bug, so, like, who cares? The C6 all-field extension is fake, honestly. I think you're just bad, because, like, when I was testing it, I was getting it even without trying to. It works if I give myself and get less DPS. Why are you staying on Noelle for over 15 seconds? Because she's cute. Okay. Caught. Fair enough, I guess. But I don't know, like, I don't really expect anything other than just numbers buffs on Noelle. Like, maybe they'll give her a way to generate energy. I don't think she needs it, but the reason she doesn't need it is because of a bug, and they might just decide, we're gonna fix the bug and give her a way to generate energy. So I kind of just only expect just damage buffs if she gets anything. And finally, Mika. Okay, you know what? One thing I'll say. This is a great lineup because so many of these characters have major issues. Right? It's not just numbers issue. Like, it's pretty much just Noelle that is only gated by numbers. Like, why? Why does this character only provide what he's supposed to fucking provide in AoE. I can understand only providing what you're supposed to provide in single target. Sure, fine, whatever. Why AoE? It is what it is, man. Like, they gimped Mika because he's a healer. Like, Mika is a Farina victim. He's a 4-star healer released after Farina. Before Farina. He was released before Farina. Really? Why was he so bad then? Whatever, I give up. This Mika character sucks. Let's move on.